another edition of Nate Newton and John Rhadigan together talking all kinds of sports. There is so much to talk about. It's a beautiful little show that is inspired by what Nate always says when he gets serious, and he looks you right in the eye, or in the camera in this case, and he says,
"Let me tell you something. It's a special
yeah,
day.
Let me tell
it's
you
all
something
about somebody today. It's a special.
It's amazing.
Today.
It's a lot going on, which is
Yes.
never surprising and always surprising, Nate. It's the Cowboys off season, and there's always stuff to talk about, and we have a lot to talk about. We're also going to talk about those Dallas Mavericks who are headed to the NBA Finals. Unbelievable. But, Nate, unfortunately, we have to start with some bad news. You hit me up, called me early Monday to let me know the bad news about our friend Larry Allen. This is just shocking news. I'm sure everybody's heard, but Larry was on a vacation with his family in Mexico, and at the age of 52, he passed away in Mexico over the weekend. I mean, I know, Nate, this hit the Cowboy world, the Cowboy Nation hard.
John, I got a text early in the morning. Monday, and it said, "Nate, have you heard?" It was from R.J. Choppy from the Fan, and I looked at it and I just ignored it. But then I said, "Nah, let me look into this." So I hit Choppy back. I say, "I hope it's not true, but I'm checking on it." And no more than 30 minutes later, I got a call from Miss Emily, the lady that's over all Cowboy players relations. And she said, "Larry's passed." And I said, "Well, any details? I don't like to go into people's family matters, She said, "Well, this is the details. This is what we're putting out, that Larry passed away in Mexico on a deal." But she told me that he was just talking to his wife. He laid back, was resting, finna go to sleep, and he never woke up. And so I don't go any further than that. That is what I'm going to believe. I'm not trying to figure out whether he had health problems or whether this, that, and the other. I leave that for the public consumption, because Larry was a good and great man, a good and great teammate, and his family was always pleasant to me. So that's where I'm leaving that. But it was a shocker, because I thought Larry was maybe 55, 56. And I was off by 4 or 5 years. This kid is 52. I'm 62. I'm like, wow. Really?
Yeah, it's too young, and it's too good a man, as you mentioned, and what we'll spend a few minutes doing, not speculating about anything regarding his unfortunate and untimely demise, but just remembering our great memories of him. And for me, one of the things is that, like, when I think of Larry, because he wasn't the most verbal guy in the world, which isn't always great for media when you're holding a microphone and asking him questions, but he was always happy to do anything you asked him to do. And then anytime you asked him a question, man, it seemed like he just had a smile, a little giggle, a little laugh. I mean, he was just a happy-go-lucky man.
For a guy that was raised in Compton, I hope I got the city right, this town right, a guy who was raised up on the streets, gang-related, went to Little Sonoma State, and he had a piece about it, man. Like you said, he would, "Larry, what's up today, man?" He'll look at you with that old dip in the side of his mouth, and he'll giggle and put his thumb in his ear, and he'll laugh, and, "I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right." But it was something about when he got time to play football, when it became time to play football, and I have to put Big E in that same category, when they life was a different human being. And so, but like you say, Larry always had that nice smile, that great laugh, and wow, he's gone.
Yeah. So go all the way back. You're a veteran by the time that Larry gets drafted, and you see this kid coming in out of Sonoma State, and it wasn't even a first rounder, and so are you like, what's your first memory of seeing him as on the field and sort of realizing, whoa, this cat's going to be good?
let me, and I'm glad we're doing our podcast, man, because I can tell the story and not have to chop it up. When I first saw this kid, I just looked at him. I said, wow, he's a big man.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know if a guy athletic or not just by him walking around, but he had a good body built to him. And so we go into training camp, or we into the mini camps, and, you know, we didn't have OTAs back then. It was just Jimmy. Jimmy, the only one, had OTAs. Everybody else just had regular mini camps. Jimmy had the only mandatory OTAs I ever knew about. And so here we got this kid, and he comes in, second round pick out of Sonoma, and he is pass blocking. And back then it wasn't no walkthroughs. Everything was bloody throughs. I mean, you had to get it going. You had to compete. And so I saw this guy, man, and they body swatted him. I think he was at the right guard, right tackle, and the guy went for an inside move, so he body swatted him and kind of knocked Larry off balance. Man, Larry popped back and got back on this dude. I looked at Big E, and I'm not going to cuss profusely like I did back then, but I said, damn, did you see that? I said, Big E, somebody about to lose their job. And I had to pick up my game because I'm like, it ain't going to be me. Because you had never seen, and you have to know what you're looking at to understand, because there wasn't no 15 reps that this kid did. It was one rep, one play. And I'm like, look at the balance. Look at the balance on this dude, man. Look at the explosion. For you to be able to be out of line and to pop back and to get yourself back, that's power, that's agility, that's explosion, all in one movement. And I was like, I'm like, you know how many people have to work to get to that point? And this kid just came out of Sonoma State, beating up all them small kids. You know, because ain't nobody big at Sonoma State. They all about your size, Rad. They just getting beat up and drugged through the mud. You know, and that was the question why he didn't go in the first round. He's at Sonoma State. He's playing second and third tier players. Can he be this type of guy? And Jimmy said, well, you know, I'll take him. I'll see can he be that type of guy. Here we go.
And then he becomes one of the best ever, you know, a Hall of Famer. So many Pro Bowls, so many trips to Hawaii. Bowls, I mean, all of it. He became, maybe, you know, you could put him in the conversation with those guys who would be in the, you know, the Mount Rushmore of the best offensive linemen ever with what he accomplished. And I wonder, you were talking about that Sonoma State thing, that balance that you're talking about, Nate. That's born in, right? I mean, that's like even at one of the big schools, even the vaunted Nick Saban, whoever, they can't teach that, can they?
Yeah, let me say this here, man. Wow, let me put this coffee away, man, because I don't want to knock this coffee over. Let me say this right here. God give certain people gifts. And I'm saying this, and I'm meaning this. What God gave Michael Jordan, no other man has. What God gave Tom Brady, no other man has. What God gave Larry Allen, no other man has. It's called next level. There's great players, and then there's next level. And in those, what I mean by next level, everything about them breeds the sport that they're in. The competitive level, the athletic ability, not only physically, but mentally, that takes over everything, because that makes people realize when you see Larry Allen, you saying this dude is a football player. When you see Tom Brady, this dude is a football player. When you see Michael Jordan, everybody, before and after, you always judging him against those people. There's 5 offensive linemen that I value, and they can play in any era. Right tackle, Jackie Slater. Right guard, John Hanna. Jackie Slater with the Rams, John Hanna with the New England Patriots. Mike Webster, center with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Larry Allen, left guard, the Dallas Cowboys. Anthony Munoz, left tackle with the Cincinnati Bengals. They could play in any era because they were mean, they were physical, they had the balance, they had the explosion to play in any era. And now Big E would have been in that if he wouldn't have hit that wall.
Yeah, not for the accident. Yeah. It's amazing. And I remember, were you there when there was video, but I think it was taken like by a Cowboys videographer of Larry lifting, I think it was about 600 pounds bench press, right?
700 plus.
It was 700.
700 plus. I felt like it's like the dudes in the prison just lifting and not knowing what's going on. When you're in the prison, you're just like, man, I ain't counting it. Just put it on there.
Yeah, just keep going. Yeah.
And I remember because when he put that 700 and maybe 730 or 50 pounds on there, and they just had a guy back there standing behind them, I said, hold. I said, because if this slip, it's going to kill this dude. Because if this slip off his hands or something, it's going to break his arm, it's going to crush his chest. I say, give me two people on the side. I say, Larry, I hate to stand over, kind of back behind you or kind of over you with my bottom, but we is not going to let this weight fall on you. And he just laughed. He just laughed. he just laughed. Man, we got it up. Man, he hit that thing. Boom. I mean, it wasn't no bounce. He just boom.
Yeah. And then what I remember, our buddy Rocket, who used to do a show with us too, he was there watching, and he dove over Larry. Larry's still laying there on the bench, and Rocket dives over him. You know?
I'm gonna tell you, man, this dude was something. And like I tell people, you know, everybody, and I just thank God that I played I watched Michael Jordan. I met Michael Jordan. I watched him play. I met Tom Brady. I know Tom Brady. I've talked to him. I've watched him play. I know Larry Allen. I've met Larry Allen. He's not with us now, but I watched him play. They are not great players. They are next level. See, these people that think they know something, they don't know next level. Because people give greatness and all of these things a name and a definition, and they don't know what they're saying. Like Mahomes, he's next level.
Yeah.
Everybody else in the league is just quarterbacks. Because he has taken teams to the Super Bowl that had flaws. Tom Brady has taken many New England team to the Super Bowl that had flaws. The only person that didn't have flaws was Michael Jordan. Once his boys got ready, they did it. Scotty and all of those. They knew their roles, and they were high level at their roles. Same with us with the Cowboys. We were high level at our roles. But when you get a special player, they are next level. And when you look at them, you know they represent their sports to the highest.
It's amazing because especially those football players you mentioned, but I'm sure even Jordan, when you met him, Nate, those people you mentioned have such tremendous respect for you too, right? I mean, and I get it. You're not on their level because they're that next level.
Yes.
But you're like they don't see you and go, oh yeah, you had a cute little career. They say you a man. You know, you're a 3-time Super Bowl champion. You were a road grader out there. I mean, that's got to be a wonderful feeling.
Like I tell people, you know, I was a road grader. I move humans for a living, but Larry Allen moved the earth. I mean,
he's an earth mover. Yeah,
guys have always given me my flowers, man, and I appreciate that. But I tell people, there's Hall of Famers out there I wouldn't give 2 nickels for. And then there's Hall of Famers out there where, like Deion said, they should have a different room. Because Deion should have a different room. And Larry Allen should be in that room. And and Jackie Slater should be in that room. John Hanna, and I'm not gonna mention the guys that shouldn't be in that room, but I'm telling you the guys I think should be in that room.
Yeah.
Johnny Unitas should be in that
Yeah.
room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Emmitt Smith should be in that room. Now, nobody likes Emmitt because he wasn't flashy. He wasn't a Barry Sanders type guy, but that dude did what he had to do. It's just a certain room that people should be in.
Yeah. I'll tell you this about Emmitt, too, and I saw some video of Emmitt, just the last day or two. People could say what they want about him, and we knew him. You knew him better than I did, but I know Emmitt well, and man, he was crying. He got on camera, and he was crying about the loss of his buddy and a guy who just, created so many holes for him and Larry Allen.
Tunnels, bro. Tunnels. Larry Allen, man, I mean, people, you cannot, and what makes it so sweet is he was a family man. That what I tell, when you can say that a guy was a great whatever in his sport, in the top 3% of his sport of all times, and then you can say he was a family man. I just would like to know that he was a Christian too. Now that's just what Nate wants. I'm not speaking for no one else. That's just what Nate prays for, So I'm not, please don't try to come at me or Rad about my belief. But that is what I hope and pray for.
Yeah, I believe it too. I think he is and was, and he's in a better place, as we like to say, and do believe. I will say the last thing about Larry, because we got to move on to today's Cowboys.
Right.
But I wonder too, because we both saw it. You saw, the hand in the ear and the laugh, and that if infectious smile and laugh he had off the field. And I know, and you know better than me, he wasn't like that on there. And I wonder if some of that anger that was bred by a difficult upbringing, right? He somehow channeled all of it over there to that football field, and obviously it paid dividends.
Yeah, to whooping grown men. I mean, because it's one thing to go out there and compete, Rad, but can you just imagine? That I'll tell a quick story about Warren Sapp. Warren Sapp, that's my homeboy from Popka, Florida. He said, I went to do an interview at Tampa. This was in my earlier days, messing around with ESPN, the national. And so I'm in Tampa, and Warren called me. Hey, homeboy, come here. I said, yeah, what's up, Warren? What's up, baby? Tell your boy Larry Allen, when we played him this year, he ain't faced nothing like this. And I looked at Warren and said, Warren, I said, homeboy. I said, Warren, you want me to call Larry and tell Larry what you said? Homeboy, I'm your homeboy, right? I said, yes, sir. Do what I asked you to do. I called Larry. I said, Larry, Sapp said he going to play you this year, and you ain't faced nothing like this. You know what happened, right? All he did was started laughing. He started laughing, and he said, okay. And that's all he said. But my credit to Warren Sapp, who is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I saw him after the season. He said, you call Larry Allen and tell him I ain't faced nothing like that in my life. Boom. That let me know how real Warren was.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, give praises, man. And I called Larry and said, Larry, Warren said he ain't faced nothing like you. And once again, all I got was a laughter and said, okay.
Hey, that's poking the bear, man. I always tell, don't poke the bear.
Yeah.
Why you
Sapp was a grizzly too, so two grizzlies. Yeah.
Hey, still you want to sneak up on him, man.
The tree a little higher, right?
Element of surprise, baby. Come on, man. Don't go up in there and say, I'm going to fight you, man. Warren learned from that one, I bet you.
Yeah.
He didn't taunt somebody after that. That's funny. That's a good story.
Downhill after that, because Larry Allen was the best in the game. So everything after that was downhill. So Warren probably beat everybody else to death.
Yeah. He knew what he needed against Larry. He brought that to everybody else.
Yeah.
So along those lines, now we got this mini camp going on right now.
Yes, sir.
Micah comes to mini camp and spoke and defended his position of getting ready in his own way, and that's something that a lot of the superstar type players are doing now, and it's a different generation. Obviously, none of this stuff would have flown when Jimmy was around. But the one thing that troubled me when I saw some of the comments from Micah yesterday, Nate, were he said that he's only spoken about 20 words to Coach Zim. And then there's a quote from Micah where he said, other coaches keep telling me, well, Coach Zim likes it this way. And Micah said, but I like it this way. And that concerns me a little bit. Nate, you?
To me, it's not about Zim. It's not about Micah. It's about the team and winning. Coach has coached great players. Coach Zim has coached great players, greater players than him. He coached Deion Sanders. Next level.
Yep.
So, but Zim has also coached players way less than him. So Zim will find that middle ground. My question has always been, since the day one that Micah walked into the facilities, and this is my biggest fear, and you'll keep hearing me say it: how quick will the brand crush these kids? And what I mean by that, the Dallas Cowboys star, how big they become by how little they do. Micah has not accomplished nothing compared to the other greats that have played. His numbers say one thing, his winning percentage, playoffs, because we're not a regular season team. Playoffs have not showed up. Late season, not showed up. So I'm hoping whatever Micah is doing to better himself, it will happen this year. And he will be that guy that takes that defense over the top. I mean, I have nothing against this kid. I think he's a great athlete. I think he's a great pass rusher. I think he has so much more to offer if he would just truly settle down and mature.
Yeah, and as a guy, because I'm friends blessedly with so many former players and players now, I'm a players guy. I side with the players, and I get this logic that Micah also espoused yesterday, which is basically, look, I am doing what is best for me so that my body will not break down during this season. He says, once my body does break down, they're done with me. So I want to do what I think is best to have me ready. And that is, this, Nate, and you've had a great relationship with the Cowboys even after you left and the whole thing. But the reality of pro sports is, if you can't do it anymore, we'll see you later.
Yeah. And I have nothing against none of that. I really don't.
Me neither. Yeah.
And if you're going to portray that it's about you and it's about you and it's about you, I have no problem with that. At least he's being honest. And that is what we can't take in today's society.
Yeah.
We ask for honesty. We get honesty. But I continue to say this. Micah has so much more to give.
Right.
The problem is, do he want to give it?
Yeah.
And do your thing, Micah. I mean, make your money. I never begrudge you that. I never, no matter what I think is best, I'll never begrudge a man his money. I just, everybody just thinks, I listen to the NFL Network, I listen to ESPN, I listen to TN, and when I hear another athlete begrudging somebody their money, for whatever reason, that just don't seem right.
No.
So do what you got to do, Micah. But I hope it gives us wins, in the playoffs.
Yeah. And it feels like along those lines, because Zim so well, he is the kind of coach, I believe, that can bring out that best, that the things you're talking about, right?
Yes.
the other things in Micah that he hasn't
And he got the
accomplished yet.
ability to intercept balls. He got the ability to cause a lot of sacks. I mean, a lot of fumbles. He got the ability to change games, not only by sacking, but by hitting running backs for losses. And see, he's the complete package if he want to be the complete package. I mean, that is the difference between the kid in Cleveland, Garrett,
Miles.
Yeah. Miles changes the game, man. The Bosa boys, they changed the game. That kid up there, the only knock on that kid in Pittsburgh, the Watts kid, if he stayed healthy, woo, you can add 1 or 2 more wins because he'll change the game.
Yeah.
And that's all I want from Micah, because if you start changing the game, man, you have a contract and you have a back-to-back super years of changing games, 4 or 5 games, man, you can tap that contract because you can be like, hey, man, I ain't coming to practice. And they'll be like, well, we can't win without Micah.
Yeah. So,
game changes.
Yeah. So speaking of contracts, the happiest man, in football yesterday might have been CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah. What happened with Jefferson?
He saw the contract Jefferson got, and he said, here we go, baby.
Yes. The difference is, I think, is one has a team of players around him that's not getting paid in Jefferson. And this kid, CD, has the guys that are getting paid. So they're going to have to be very creative to get him his money.
Yeah.
Because everybody see what Micah's doing. Micah is doing a soft holdout. He's letting everybody know, I want to get paid. So Dak, if they decide to pay him, quarterbacks are getting paid too much.
Yeah.
And that's not begrudging nobody their money, but I just don't believe that you go out, people say, well, you don't want to be without one. Like Minnesota got rid of Kurt. You see what Atlanta did. If you're getting judged, if you're getting to the playoffs every year and you're not getting any further, the one person that can take you over the hump supposedly is your quarterback. This is what they will find out about Buffalo's quarterback this year. He's at that stage now. It's like, is this kid gonna win us some games? Dak, at the same point. Dak, is you gonna win us some playoff games? So when you want to give a guy $60 million, and then you home in the first round, because, and see, people say, no, they make it to the second round. No, you don't. You win the first round, you lose the second round. They don't give you no trophies for losing the second round. They just give you the trophy for winning the first round. So you don't advance. And that's what I tell people. You are first time, at the first round, you're done.
Yeah.
That's why I don't watch the NCAAs. I don't watch the first 2 games of the NCAAs. I wait till like the third round, because now the people that's really balling, that's who's there. That's same with back in the NBA. That first round, I'll be like, please, let's get this over with. I'll be looking at TNT. I'll be like, man, Herb and send them guys fishing. Because I ain't watching that first round. I'm like, forget that. But when that second round come, basketball finna be played now, baby. Yeah.
And now, too, we're going to get to that in just a second. Just a little bit more on this mini camp. It is a mandatory mini camp.
Yes.
And they're saying, that if CD misses all 3 of the sessions, cost him $100,000. Dude's making $17 million now. I don't think 100 really bothers him that much, does it, Nate?
I'll be laughing every time. And even on the other major networks, they say if they miss the whole training camp, it's $1 million. Okay, they just gave a dude $88 million to sign. $88 million to sign. And people are like, well, you still don't want to miss the $1 million. This dude gonna go buy a watch or a car
Yeah.
a watch and a car for
Yeah.
$1 million.
Yeah.
And he ain't going to drive the car but once a week, maybe once a year. He ain't going to put the watch on but maybe twice a year. Come on, man. Please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. It's a different stratosphere.
Yes. Now, if they were trying to get $1 million
talking,
from me and you, we like, hey man, we finna sell everything we own because we don't have it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't find me $1 million, but So anyway, I always thought that was funny. But all right, so that's that. Let's talk about this run in Dallas sports, time right now. Now the Stars did get eliminated, but then you have the Rangers as the reigning champs, and now I tell you what, Nate, these Mavs, they got a chance to pull this thing off against the Celtics, don't you think?
No,
you
sir.
don't? Oh, that's right. I forgot. You're a big Celtics guy.
Yeah, stop.
Oh, okay. So is that just the fan, Nate, talking, or do you really think?
Yeah, your Thunderdome got thumped up there in Oklahoma, so now you riding the Mavericks.
I'm riding with the Mavs. You're damn right. And also, the Thunder were a team too. You looked at it, you go, man, that's a lot of talent over there. Is that more than what the Mavs have? And I think it's the same with the Celtics, right? That's a lot of talent. That's a lot of wins. But man, the way Kyrie and Luka have played together, I just think. Yeah.
Can we talk? Can me?
Will you
really
tell me something?
Can you look into your camera as I look into mine?
Yes.
It is 5 players in this league that, if paired with the right guy, and the organization put 3 or 4 guys that love their roles, they cannot be beat. Let's start with Denver.
Okay.
And I can't remember the 2 role players they had last year. I think one of them was Green. And when they got rid of Green and they got rid of this other guy, that hurt their bench. So with Jokic and the other kid, Murray, they had Jokic and they had Murray. Then they had these other guys coming off the bench that were nice players. They got rid of those guys, those 2 guys. And what crushed Denver this year is their bench. Now let's move to the Mavericks. You have Luka Doncic. You have Kyrie Irving. And then you got a bunch of guys that kind of look like one another but has different talents, and they are lighting it up. Whether they are on the road or at home, they are so comfortable. But this engine is ran by Luka. This engine is this booster on the back of that train is Kyrie. So they got the front end and the back end. It's what's in the middle that's crushing this thing. Because when Luka a little off, they got this dude just keep shooting these threes. When things need to speed up, they get that thing to the booster in the back, and he push it a little bit harder, and that's Kyrie, bruh. So now you got your front end and your back end, even though Luka can close games. You got your front end and your back end, and all them guys in the middle. Come on, man. They are dangerous.
Yes.
They are dangerous. Yes. And now we done mess around here because the NBA want to take time and sell all of these products.
Oh.
That made me mad because I need it for this games to hurry up and be played. I hope I ain't lost myself. I needed for these games to hurry up and be played because Luka was a little banged up.
Yeah, that's right. And so the NHL has a thing, if their conference finals go, but like the the Stanley Cup finals could have started tonight, which they will, or on the 8th, I think, right? If it went like 7 games each year. It's what the NBA should do.
Right.
You got 2 quick series. One was a sweep. One was 6 games. Start playing. They should have been playing Tuesday night.
I needed them to play because that gives my Celtics a chance.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Luka's had an off season now, man. He's healthy.
My Celtics don't have that player. Tatum is a superstar. Brown is a star. But they don't have that ability to control games with their dribbling. I've seen Luka dribble 10 seconds. 12 seconds.
It's crazy. It's
and
crazy.
still find an open man.
Yeah. And throw a seed. I mean, just throw a bullet over there.
And my guys, when they're not whipping the ball around and they go into the individual one-on-one deal and it ain't 1 minute left in the game or 1 minute left in the half, they fumble the ball a lot of times. It's a 50-50 chance they're going to fumble the ball, but never with Luka. And
no.
Luka, LeBron, Bird, Magic, Isaiah, I'm talking about guys that handled the ball at the end of the game. Those are unique guys. Those are you. I don't have that unique guy on my team. And then the big fella, I mean, is he going to really play? Is he going to be really effective? So,
all right, let's say he does. And you've seen more Celtics than me this year because you're a fan. How much does that change this series if they are able to get a fully healthy Kristaps Porzingis in there?
If we can get a 20-minute Chris, because he changes shots, he plays a little bit more defense, he can spread the court, and that gives Brown a chance to do what he has to do. And that gives Tatum a chance to be more of a complete player. And now they whip the ball around just a little bit more. So he can do it on both ends. And if we can get him 15 minutes, 20 minutes, we can beat the Mavs. But if they let this game be close, we can't let them win on our court. Because when these guys win on your court, they turn into sharks. It's like blood in the water. And Jason, you can see, this is what hurts me the most about the Mavericks. They don't understand how smart Jason Kidd is. They don't understand his ability to relate to his players. They don't understand. I understand. They don't. And that's cool. That's cool because it's all about players. But remember the game against the Thunder, the third or fourth game, where they said, hey, you know what? We need to pick the tempo up. And Luka deferred to Kyrie.
Yep.
Coach Carlisle could not get Luka to do that. He couldn't get Luka to do that for some reason.
No. Yeah.
But I'm telling you, this is going to be a good series.
Yeah, I think so too.
Where we have the true advantage, and if these guys don't realize this, is we have to play all the time defense. All the time, 24/7, 15 days a week, we have to play all defense. Don't worry whether our offense is working or not, but if we play defense all the time, we can get these guys. But if we go out here trying to shoot with them, and I could be wrong. I'm not no basketball savant, but I'm saying from what I see, we got to play all the time defense. We got to make Luka dribble the whole, 97 feet? We got to make him dribble. As soon as he get that ball on the inside, we can't let him get to the top of the key and let him set a pick. Once Luka gets you behind him and he put his butt in front of you, ain't letting you. It's 5-on-4 then. So you got to take him at half court and make them pick up higher to give you a chance to get back. You know, the tried that, but it was too late. The Timberwolves tried that in the last game, but it was too late. They was on fire. It was charm in the water, and the sharks were eating, bro.
Yeah, they were just feeding, man. It was a frenzy. Yeah. Hey, so how long have you been a Celtics fan?
Ever since I was probably about 13, 14 years old.
Okay. All right. So this is going to make you mad. I'm glad you've been the one that long. I want to make you mad to finish our show up because it's always good to get Nate fired up. So Chandler Parsons, who had a minute here in Dallas, he was here and hurt half the time. He has a show now, a talk show, and he said that Luka's already better than Bird. Go.
You know what? He is Larry Bird. He is Larry Bird.
You think Luka is, but even if he is, Nate, He's
He
a
is
starter
Larry Bird.
kid yet, though, right?
See, I don't worry. Parsons, Chandler only won one in an NBA championship, right? Okay, he
Yeah,
has an
yeah.
opinion, and I would respect that opinion. But he is Larry Bird. He is a fat Larry Bird. He's Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Bruh. I mean, what Luka does is not pretty. What Larry did wasn't pretty.
True.
If you want pretty, you go to one of them other teams who got the slim guard and can run down there. You go to Gildress. If you want pretty, go get Gildress.
Go to the Thunder.
Yeah. You go get Gildress. But if you want efficiency and effectiveness, you go get Fat Larry Bird. He right there with the Mavericks. Yeah, go get Fat Boy. Yeah.
See there?
Yeah.
There's a little gold for you at the end of the show. Nate has just put us in touch with the Fat Larry Bird.
Yes, sir. His name
the
is
skinny
Luka
Larry
Doncic.
Bird didn't lose too damn much, so I got my money on the Fat Larry Bird.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
I'll see what you're saying, baby. I'll see what you're saying.
Man. Hey, fun as always, Nate. I love talking with you, man. And we'll I know we'll do this again next time.
Hey, God bless y'all. And our producer is Spencer Bass. And our guy that's supposed to be getting sponsors, his name is Tom. Tom, get us some sponsors. Thank you.
Come on, man. Come on.
Come on,
this
man.
show's too good.
Come on.
Let's go.